Here's my secret, and I'm going to tell it to you now. I use self reflection to solve a problem, and I ask myself these three questions. Welcome to the Seven Dimensions of Wellness, the podcast that helps you reassess your habits and helps you progress. The seven dimensions are as follows: spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. Reassess, progress. This is the Seven Dimensions of Wellness. And welcome back to the Runaway podcast. I'm your host, Jerome Paul. Dude, I've been waiting all year to say this, but here it goes. Welcome to the Seven Dimensions of Wellness. Welcome to the Seven Dimensions of Wellness, the podcast that helps you reassess your habits and helps you progress. The seven dimensions are as follows: spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. Let's reassess, progress. This is the seven dimensions of wellness. My God, I miss doing that intro. I miss doing that intro. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in to the three runners that are watching right now. Yes, if you're listening to this on replay on Spotify, we are live on Facebook. Yep. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so let's do an attendance check. We got Jean in the comment section. Hi. Hello. My advisor from when I was in high school is here. Hello. Hi, Mr. Cinto. Good evening. Good evening. And Dion Chua is here too. Hi. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. One of my Pathways members then. There we go. Yes, we're going to speak in Tagalog. If you are listening to this from another country, specifically from the States, I am so sorry, but I'm going to speak in my local language as well. Filipino. Here we go. Having a Dion. Hi, bro. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. There we go. So, before we officially start the podcast, I just really want to say thank you for supporting the Runaway podcast all these months. Half a month we were away, hiatus. Oh, sorry, half of the month, half of the year, half of the year, no content whatsoever. And then half of this year, we started back in June 12, and then it kept on, continuously with the episodes, kept on rolling, producing episodes. Really, really cool. So thank you. Thank you so much. And with that journey, it has been great and it has been memorable that I have to make this episode about self-reflection. Why, why, oh, why does Paul want to talk about self-reflection? Let me tell you why. Because self reflection has always been a practice of mine ever since I was grade school. Yeah, back in grade school. Back in grade school. Okay, so let's answer the question: why are we talking about self reflection anyway? So, as I've said, I remember doing this habit ever since I was like in grade school. I was born and raised Catholic, and it's always a how do I say this? It's always like a thing that we do, like to read the Bible, and then you'll be asked, like, "Oh, okay, what did you learn? How do you understand what you just read?" So it was more about self reflection. Nowadays, since I'm no longer active in the church and I'm no longer reading the Bible as much, I shifted my perspective in self reflection and just use it as a tool for me to gain more self awareness. With what? Self awareness with what? With what are the things that I'm doing, all the habits, all the media consumptions that I'm intaking every single day. I'm trying my best to be more conscious. That's the word. I'm always trying my best to be conscious with my actions and my thoughts. Why? Because I have been a firm believer, especially this year, that what you think and what you speak, they are energies that you're going to receive and give. Does that make sense? Yeah, there we go. So for tonight, I'm just going to share what I've learned from this crazy year journey about self reflection. Okay. Oh, let's just read some comments very, very quickly. Cedric is here. Sabi na, it's been a while since I have tuned into this. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Cedric. Janus is here too. Yo, yo, yo. And Janus is one of my classmates ever since high school. So he knows the lifestyle that we had when we were younger, like reading the Bible, reflecting about what you read, and then reflective writing. Yan, ano natutunan mo sa field trip, ganon. Sapphire is here, sabi ni Jean. Hi, Sapphire, the one who made my glasses. Thank you. Thank you so much. And nandito na kaming mga duwag manood ng horror episodes. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Seven Dimensions of Wellness. So, let's talk about it. Self-reflection is simply, for me, that is taking time. It's taking time to think about your thoughts, on your behaviors, and then your attitudes. Minsan motivations, minsan desires. Basta yung act na iniisip mo kung ano yung nangyayari sa'yo ngayon o yung nangyari sa'yo noong nakaraan. Self-reflection. Now, I want to say this kasi there has been a negative connotation when it comes to self-reflection na it's more about, okay, kailangan mo lang yan kapag walang-wala ka na, alam mo yun, kapag nagbabagong buhay ka kasi mag-break kayo ng jowa mo or whatnot. No, dude. Like, it mostly happens during those times kasi dun ka nawawala. Like, feeling mo like nagbabago yung mundo mo. So, to share, here are some common reasons why you should practice self-reflection. Number one, just like me, it's all about self-awareness. Kasi kung meron kang awareness sa mga pinagagawa mo, sa mga pinag-iisip mo, at sa mga nararamdaman mo, edi mas naiintindihan mo kung bakit mo ginagawa ang isang bagay at bakit nangyayari ang isang bagay sa'yo. Number two, identifying your strengths and weaknesses. Kasi like for me, through self-reflection, nakita ko kung saan ako malakas or why do I do that? Nakita ko kung saan ako malakas and nakita ko kung saan ako, pause for dramatic effect, nakita ko kung saan ako nagkukulang. Nakita ko kung saan ako nagkukulang. And from this, just level of self-reflection na nalaman ko yung kalakasan ko at kahinaan ko, somehow, I'm trying to do my best to use it as leverage para at least ma-develop ko kung ano yung kailangan kong ma-develop at ma-maintain ko kung ano yung kailangan kong ma-maintain. And of course, the third one, tatlo lang tayo. Problem solving. Self-reflection for me, it often happens when I'm trying to solve a problem. It does. Kasi when I reflect on my experiences, especially kapag bad ones, or yung sa mga na-challenge ako, no, medyo nahihirapan akong isipin na bakit kailangan mangyari yun, no? Dapat pala ito ginawa ko next time. Ang ganung thinking. Parang nagkaroon ng risk management like in your head, like, okay. So, dapat pala hindi ko sabihin, hello, ganun. Dapat pala sabihin ko, hey! Or di kaya, dapat pala hindi ko sinimulan yung conversation by asking kung ilang taon siya. Dapat pala tinanong ko na lang, kamusta yung panahon ngayon? Man. Problem solving. So those three for me. Why should you practice self-reflection, self-awareness, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and problem solving? Self-awareness, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and problem solving. SIP, gawin mo to para hindi ka naman maging sip-sip. I know, with the puns. Gawin mo naman to para hindi ka naman maging sip-sip. sa ibang tao by asking them constantly, ano ba problema sa akin? Ano ba yun? Ano ba yung problema sa akin? I I get it. Okay. There are some people who would feel better in releasing their emotions with other people. But then again, how would you expect them to know the answer if you don't know the answer yourself too? Sabi nga ni Adam last season, paano mo makikilala yung sarili mo at paano mo mahanap yung sarili mo kung hindi mo kilala yung sarili mo? You know, like, I want to go to Baguio because I want to find myself. Do you actually know yourself? Do you even know who you're looking for? That kind of mindset. So, shift tayo ngayon sa topic na Coach Gab is here. Hey, hello. Hi, Coach Gab. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. If you guys remember, Coach Gab is one of our guests back in the Let's Talk About series where we talk about movies, finances, and a little bit about fatherhood then. Grabe. And of course, Coach Gab is here to share. He says, attending discovery helped me be clear with who I am. Beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Gab. Awesome. Okay. So, shift tayo ngayon into this topic kasi I've already mentioned problem solving, right? Like using self-reflection, okay, to solve a problem. Here we go. Here we go. This is the topic. It's the topic. Okay. Now, using self-reflection to solve a problem, I mostly do this. I mostly do this. And I say mostly because like oftentimes I get like relapse and I don't use a notebook or multiple notebooks for that matter. But here's my secret, and I'm going to tell it to you now. I use self-reflection to solve a problem, and I ask myself these three questions. Now, the first question that I ask is there a problem? May problema ba? Ano ba yung kailangan kong i-solve? Okay? May problema ba tayo sa finances? Okay. May problema ba tayo sa love life? Okay. May problema ba tayo sa career? Okay. May problema ba tayo sa social life natin? Maybe. May problema ba tayo sa environment natin, sa setting? Possibly, yes or no. It really depends. Number two, why does that problem exist? Bakit nandito yung problema na to? Okay? So, for example, kunyari lang naman, bakit tayo nagkaroon ng problema sa finances? Siguro, na-overspend ka last time. Bakit kayo nagkaroon ng problem sa love life? Kasi siguro, hindi mo nasabi yung gusto mong sabihin talaga because galit ka, daming noises, iba yung nasabi mo. Bakit may problema ka sa social life mo? 'Di ba lagi ka na lang nakatapat sa computer mo tapos like nakakulong ka na lang sa kwarto? Or may problema ba sa environment mo? Siguro, siguro may problema sa environment mo kasi feeling mo hindi na gano'n ka-helpful yung mga tao sa paligid mo sa mental health mo, with your inner peace. So those two questions pa lang. Is there a problem? Why does that problem exist? And of course, you guys already know number three. On identify, may problema ba? Yes. Ano yung problema? Ay, kailangan mo identify. So ano yung number three? Why do we want to fix this problem? Bakit kailangan mo siya ma-solve ngayon? Why? Kasi kung mas-solve mo ba to, will it bring you inner peace? Kung mas-solve mo ba to, gagaan yung loob mo? Kung masasolve mo ba tong problema na to, mas magiging mahimbing ang tulog mo sa gabi. Diba? Or inaayos mo lang tong problema mo na to kasi, obliged ka kasi nasa kontrata mo na mag-ayos ng problema. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at my old self. Okay. I'm speaking from experience. So those three questions. Is there a problem? Why does that problem exist? And why do we want to fix this problem? Ah, nice! Okay, thank you. Tingnan mo, parang parehas ata kami ni Coach Gab ng ano, ng system. Okay, kasi there's a secret one. There's number 4. Kasi, thank you, Coach Gab, for adding. Will it help you become who you want to be? Yes. Thank you. I'm not gonna hit it anywhere, but yes, will it help you become who you want to be? For the runners that are watching the live right now, I'm showing my blue journal on the screen, and I use this blue journal to write every single raw emotion that I'm feeling per week. Okay, I'm not gonna say per day, but when I'm happy, I'll write it. If I'm angry, I'll do this, and then afterwards, if I let it all out on this piece of paper, kung ano yung nararamdaman ko, dun ko na ngayon mananarrow. Pa-funnel method na natin. So, is there a problem? Why does that problem exist? Why do you want to fix this problem? And then afterwards, syempre, since na-funnel down mo at nakumalma ka na, nalabas mo na yung sama ng galit mo, will it help you become who you want to be? Kapag sinolve mo to yung problema mo. Diba? That's how it works. Thank you, Coach Gab. Grabe, synchronicities na naman. Okay, and then Dion says, love life between anxious versus avoidant attachment style, creating imbalance. Yes. Whew, thank you. Thank you, Dion. This is just going to be like a brief introduction with all the topics, but I would love to talk about it in the future. Like creating that imbalance, tapos yung avoidant attachment. Kasi there's that argument na self-love for self-boundaries. On the other hand, meron ng detachment. Alam mo, like, when will you know if it's self-love or detachment? Ah? Ah? Future episode. Future episode. Let's see. See. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Ayan. Okay. Now, I do want to ask the runners very, very quickly how you practice self reflection. Hmm. Let's just wait for a while before. All right. Before the comment will show up, let's wait a while. The comment has been shown. How do you practice self reflection? Because here in the Runaway podcast, we are strong, strong advocates for journaling talaga. Season 1 of the 7 Dimensions of Wellness, the one who wrapped things up was Will Akana, and he's a strong advocate for journaling because he does love writing. We got Adam from Have a Ministry. At the time, he was not a part of Team Payaman yet, but now he is. Congratulations. Ta-da. Congratulations. He is also an advocate of journaling or just writing it down, like writing a prayer to God, how you feel and what you want to do. And of course, me as your host and as your founder, I'm a strong advocate of journaling. Talaga. That's why I have a lot of notebooks in my room. But these days, I was able to learn that when you practice meditation, when you practice taking it all in, taking a breather, being still, yes, being still, yes, thank you. Thank you, Dion. By being still, you're already practicing self reflection. And again, it all goes back to how do we define self reflection? This is where you pause, you take it all in, you think about your thoughts, emotions, habits, motivations, your dreams, your failures. You take it all in. And I really want to say this now more than ever. This is why I love doing the 7 Dimensions of Wellness because it gives us different perspectives. What works for you may not work for me. That kind of mindset. So kung di ito pwede sa'yo, maybe this one, you can try it. Kung hindi pa, maybe you can try another one. There we go. And then Dion followed it up by saying, ideas will come smoothly when you take time to be still. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Dion. Oh, and then another one, a golden little nugget from Coach Gab. All right, here we go. Let's try and read it. Coach Gab says, practice self disclosure. Let that sink in. Practice self disclosure. Ask yourself, how far am I from becoming the person I want to be? What qualities do I need to step into to get there? How does it look like? What steps do I need to take, stop, or continue? What do I honor myself for? And that's how you celebrate your progress. Beautiful. Beautifully said. Grabe. Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Gab. See, like we're all here just gathering and sharing our thoughts about self reflection. I think this is by far one of the most fruitful fruitful episodes of the seven dimensions of wellness already. Because everyone is like sharing their feedbacks and thoughts. That is awesome. And this is what I love the most. Like, how far am I from becoming the person I want to be? 30 minutes in, I have to talk about this already. I have to talk about this already. Okay, but here is a very, very brief intro, as I have promised, as I promised, on how you identify your strengths and weaknesses. Mhm. Ta-da! Okay, so to the forerunners that are watching, how, oh man, it's already wrong grammar, but it's fine. Do you identify your strengths and weaknesses? Okay. Now, I know some of us hindi pakilala yung sarili nila entirely, and we have different ways on how we process information, and at the same time, we have different learning styles. Okay, for us to be convinced na ito yung strengths ko, ito yung weaknesses ko. So I'm just gonna do my best to give you recommendations in a short period of time. Are you guys ready? You guys ready? Here we go. The following that I'll be sending are psychological tests. Psychological. Bolol na. Psychological tests. The first one, of course, it's from the VIA, and it literally identifies the 24 character strengths that you have. Yan. Okay, so if you are a fan of like taking psychological tests, I highly recommend this. You just have to answer a series of questions, and then afterwards they will send you an email about your three core strengths. Strengths. Yan. Yan, yan. Hirap magtagalog. Yes, thank you, Gene. And then of course, the second one is probably the most famous out of the bunch is the 16 personalities test. This is the Myers Briggs personality test. INFJ, ENFJ. I'm an INFJ. I know, right? INFJ ka? Are you sure? You love to talk. You have a podcast. You sure? It's it's been like 2 years since I took the test. INFJ? Are you sure? No, no, no. That's you. That's you. So those two. So if you're someone who wants to know their strengths and weaknesses, I highly suggest you take these two psychological tests for you to know your strengths and weakness, even your personality type. Okay. Now, I'm going to move over to this part of the podcast where I talk about human design briefly. Briefly. But first, I have to read the comments. I forgot to read the comments. No. Hirap pala kapag live. May transitions na kasi ako nakaprepare. Okay. Here we go. Let's read the comments first. Dion says, weakness and strengths are like pedals of the same bike. It's not your destination, but it can be a tool to your path. Beautiful. God, you beautifully said. Oh my God. Thank you, Dion. Tingnan mo, grabe. Yes. Now that you've, paano ba? Now that you have brought this into perspective, yeah. Now that you've brought this into perspective, oo nga no. Kasi yung strengths mo, your weaknesses mo, it's literally your leverage to function as a human being. Sometimes there will be ups and lows, but you can't really live without the other, you know? There's always going to be like strengths for you to maintain. There's always going to be weaknesses for you to, follow up on. I'm doing the pedal motion. And it's really not the destination, but it's about the journey. It's about the journey. It can help, it can be a tool to your path. I love the path puns that are coming in left and right. Something's cooking. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Sabi ni Jean, magtatagalog daw. Yeah, ang hirap, grabe. Ang hirap magtagalog. Pasensya na. Ito ba yung ginawa natin? Yes, Jean, ito yung ginawa natin before. So, before my girlfriend said yes to me, we took the personality test. And we were both surprised that we were both INFJs. I know, INFJ ka, Paul. Seryoso, you're INFJ. I am INFJ. There we go. And Dion says between INTJ and ISTJ. Oh, there we go. And then di ko na kailangan ng ganyan. You are my both strength and weakness. Hue, hue, hue. Oh, thank you. Baby race, Bluey. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the reference. All right. So I'm just going to quickly talk about this test. I'm not sure if it will fall under test because it's about human design. It's about human design. Now, I want to go to like I want to preface this part of the episode by saying human design, I only know so little of it as I'm going live today. And I'm just really gonna briefly talk about it on like what I know as of now. Maybe the things I'll be saying are not yet correct, but I am confident that this is what I have able to understand in a short period of time. Now, about human design, you can check it out, okay? You can check it out right now to the forerunners that are watching. You can check it out right now. Your human design, I absolutely love it kasi it's both spiritual and scientific, meaning it's measurable. So my spiritual aspects and then my scientific aspects. Kasi you have noticed my strong interest with astrological charts this year in my healing journey, right? You were able to witness it. The thing is about human design, since it combines esoteric and spiritual and then scientific, that's measurable, this got me thinking. Okay, I'll give this one a chance. Okay. So from my understanding, human design, it gives you an explanation, okay, that there are certain things that work for you, and here's why. And here's why. Kasi from my experience, like reading about my human design, which is 4/1 manifester opportunist, haha, opportunist, I was able to learn more about myself that really hit hard. One of the things that I took a screenshot of while I was like reading about my human design was this line here. The fourth line, 4/1, is sensitive to reciprocity. Ano daw? Ha? Reciprocity. Sabog na ako. Wait. Reciprocity. Did I just Google it? Yes. My goodness. Recip- re- reciprocity. Reciprocity. You say that. Reciprocity. My goodness, Paul. Come on. Let that sink in. Si Jerome hindi marunong i-pronounce yung reciprocity. Reciprocity. Ito yung dapat sasabihin ko. Okay. Repres. Rep. Mm. Reciprocity. 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 Okay. Reciprocity. The fourth line is sensitive to reciprocity from those they consider to be their people. So if I have someone that like naka-vibes ko talaga like, oh, hi, hello, what's up? Yeah, what up? Um, yung feeling na dapat mabalik yung paano ba? Energy sa akin? Like energy exchange? Yeah, I really find value in that. And when I read this, I was like, oh nga no. Like, I've never felt so attacked in my entire life. Kahit sabihin ko na, ay, hindi, okay lang. Okay lang na sabihin na, ano, pag sinabi ko, uy, kamusta ka na? Tapos sinagot niya lang, tapos umalis. Ganon. Yeah, this reciprocity. Reciprocity. Okay. Ano pa? I'm just gonna read like something very, very quickly. Those on the outer sphere of a 4/1's life will organically be drawn into their inner circle by mutual contacts who act as a bridge between them. And because the 4/1 has such an attractive and magnetic energy, once those mutual friends have done the heavy lifting, new connections are naturally established. And I'm really, really like surprised. Because I would never thought, I would never really, 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 really thought that I would be meeting a lot of influencers this year. Oh my God. Like, and the most amazing part of it is that I get to see them like who they really are and not just this persona that they try to put up online or how people perceive them to be. Like I was able to meet like Nicole Alba, I was able to meet Charm, I was able to meet Alec Cuenca for goodness sake. Lagi na lang kami nagkikita. Lagi na lang kami nagkikita ni Alec. Like, hey man, oh, nandito ka pala. Ah, dito ka pala. Oh, what? Ang ginagawa mo dito? Ang ginagawa mo dito? Alec Cuenca is one of the biggest podcasters here in the Philippines. And congratulations on your new book, man. Oh yeah, and Real Talk Tarbs. Hey, what's up, Real Talk Tarbs? From context, I was just doing a video about him appearing in my vlog. And ayun, grabe. Na-meet ko siya kinabukasan. Like, what? What is happening with me? Why do I have this energy? Why? Jesus Christ. Oh no. Okay. Now, going back to human design again. Talk about it really, really quickly. Dion says, I am a manifestor gen. 6/2. Nice. Nice. See, like these kinds of things. Thank you. Thank you, Dion. And just to go back, no, to go back on human design. Sorry, I'm getting excited going out of topic. It's both esoteric, spiritual, and then scientific. So it's measurable. That's why I got hooked to this idea along with the astrological chart and the personality test. Yeah. Now, I want to emphasize this for human design. Kasi dito ko nabasag. Like, boom. My God. Sorry. I was able to know and reflect on na we really get conditioned the moment we were born. Like, yung lifestyle, yung choices, yung religion, yung pangalan natin. We don't have any control out of it. I mean, binigay na lang yan sa atin. Like, okay, ang pangalan nitong anak ko, si Ricardo. Yan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was already given to us the moment we were born and we were already conditioned. And in a period of time, we thought that this is who we are. Alam mo, like, for example, nung teenager ka, galing-galing mo lang mag-basketball. So, like, tingin mo habang buhay, magiging varsity player ka. And then you met this girl na magaling kumanta, na napakanta ka din kasi yun yung hidden talent mo. So, ngayon, magaling ka na kumanta, magaling ka na mag-basketball. Tapos nagkaroon ka ng identity crisis kasi like, hindi, akala ko like buong like basketball player lang ako eh. High School Musical. Basta yun, one point of our life, we were conditioned. And in one point of our life, we hold on to that identity. Kaya feeling ko ngayon na nagkakaroon ako ng existential crisis kasi I'm looking for more. I'm trying to dig deeper. Ano ang purpose ko? Ano ang higher purpose ko? To quote Loki, what's my glorious purpose? What's my glorious purpose? Bakit ako sinilang sa mundo na to? Anong mission ko? Bakit? 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 Diba? So we get conditioned and there's nothing wrong with it. But I just really want to tell you, all the listeners right now, in one point of time, you would really have to ask yourself, am I the person who I want to be? Is this the person that I want to be? And it's crushing. It's crushing talaga. Mababasag at mababasag ka talaga. Kasi, dude, for like 25 years, 25 years, I'm 25 years old now. I thought that I didn't have any like powers. I thought na I'm just going to be like breadwinner forever. Yun lang yung purpose ko. Tulungan si mama, tulungan si papa. Yun na yun. Buong akala ko, like, buong buhay ko, like, hanggang dito lang ako. As in, no lies. As I strive to be the best, parang feeling ko ito lang talaga ako. Like, I was like coming from here. Nasabi ko, okay, ito yung higher self ko. Pero ngayon na parang nandito na ako, shit, ang baba pa pala. Mayroon pang mas tataas. Those realizations. For me to know what my human design is, for me to know what my personality is, every 2 years I take that test. And for me to know my astrological chart is behind my birth time and all that, it gave me a new sense of purpose to know more about myself, give myself a chance, and just continue on with the journey. Because it was never about the destination. You would get there. I promise you, you would definitely get there. It's about the journey that counts. To kind of close the podcast. To kind of close the podcast, I'm going to share something that I was able to learn then through self-reflection. But first I have to read the comments. Jerome, come on, dude. Come on. Don't forget about the people. Sanay pa din ako na pre-recorded. Diyos ko. Tagal-tagal ko na nagla-live. Naisip ko pag 7 dimensions of wellness, like, okay, it's pre-recorded. Just talk. Oh, Kaylin is watching. Hi, Kaylin. Hello. Jay is watching too. Hey, Jay from Calico and Bully Boy. Okay, Dion says, I was named after Dion Warwick because my mom loves R&B. Oh, the 70s R&B. Interesting. Okay. And Jean says, stick to the status quo. Because I reference like High School Musical. Uy, na-meet mo din pala si Red. Yeah, I met, dude, like, just really want to preface this by saying, like, I am honored to meet all these influencers and, like, who are doing their thing publicly. I admire your work. I love it. But, I was able to realize na each and every one of us are still humans, just really trying to do better. I admire the work. I admire the work. I love the passion and all, but dude, we're all humans. Like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Sige nga, pakisagot. No. Okay. Sabi ni Dion, makikita daw sa North Node ng astrology chart kung ano ang purpose mo. That mathematical axis is also measurable. Yeah, I was able to um read about this din, Dion, pero there hasn't been any action yet. Just read lang. Alam mo, like, okay. Na-take in ko, that's fine. Uy, ilang years lang. Wala ka pang wisyo hanggang 5 years old ka. All right. So here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned from how do I say this? From learning my mistakes and goal setting. And it requires me to show a piece of my journal talaga. Yeah. Why? Um Again, I'm already like doing my best to journal and write everything that I think about, I dream about, but with this certain organization that I was able to share previously in the podcast episodes called Pathways, with its founders like Mommy J, Atidet, they really, really encourage me to embrace it. Like whatever it is that you're being called to do, embrace it. Like wag mo ikahiyayan. So I'm doing it, you know, really, really trying my best. And now, just to share, learning from mistakes and goal setting as raw as it can be. Every time talaga I read about my journal, it screams, "Help! Ah! Tulungan mo ako!" Tulungan mo ako. Learning from mistakes and goal setting. Okay. So, if you are familiar with the pre-mortem and post-mortem, pre-mortem and post-mortem, anyone? Ito yung nag-huddle kayo before doing a task and then like after the task mag-huddle ulit kayo kasi you talk about like okay ano yung nangyari, what can I do better, like that. So the pre-mortem part before, okay, in one point of my career, 2020, I was a young team leader. I highly value it para at least ma-set ko yung expectations ng mga tao or ng mga member ko sa grupo. Sorry, I don't want to use that word. Ng mga membro ko sa grupo na ito yung mangyayari, ito yung kailangan natin gawin para mawala yung takot. Yan. And then, yung postmortem, yun nga eh, so sorry, hindi yun. Pre-mortem bago ma-dead. Exactly, parang, alam ko may meaning din siya about cremation. Like, post-mortem, alam ko like incineration siya. Then pre-mortem, parang ipe-prep mo. Like, for this part of the podcast, I would just strike that out and just stick with the word pre-huddle and post-huddle. All right. Pre-huddle and post-huddle. And in the post-huddle, I would usually like do that too with my team before for them to release any sort of negative energy that they have acquired or that they have allowed in to their vessel kasi it will literally ruin your entire day kapag hindi mo siya nailabas. So kapag ginagawa ko yung pre-huddle and then yung post-huddle, I make it a fact that everyone will be okay and that everyone will feel like they have learned something from what they have done. That's where the self reflection goes in. The universe, the universe is like giving us these scenarios to us because there's a purpose. You may not know it yet, but even the down to the tiniest details, it believe me. Oh my god, I'm talking to my younger self. Believe me, younger Paul, that is probably like watching this in time. You will eventually make sense out of all the chaos that is happening right now. Everything will eventually make sense. May matututunan ka, yes. May matututunan ka after, yes. May matututunan ka beforehand, yes. Kasi every experience that you have, if you shift your awareness to self-reflection, this is the part where our teachers say, hindi natatapos ang pag-aaral sa apat na sulok ng classroom na to. Kasi nandito naman ako sa bahay. It's the journey that counts, man. To quote, to quote Mommy J, to quote Ate Det, to quote Dion, to quote Ate Ash, to quote me, Ate Mika, to quote all of my spiritual ates from Pathways, walang tapon. There's no waste. Every experience that you have right now, eventually, it will be your leverage on how you can handle a situation better. Walang tapon. And that's why I practice self reflection on a weekly basis because because I channel my self-awareness. I need to identify my strengths and weaknesses, and I also use it for problem solving. Self-awareness, identifying strengths and weaknesses, problem solving, SIP. Again, for all the Filipinos that are listening to the podcast now, ayoko kasing maging sip-sip sa ibang tao in asking them, what's wrong with me? Where I should be asking that question to myself. What's wrong with me? Ano ba ang problema? Bakit nandito yung problema? Bakit kailangan kong ayusin ang problema? At tugma ba to sa gusto kong ma-achieve in the future? Is there a problem? Why does that problem exist? Why do we want to fix this problem? And what do you want to achieve? Self-awareness, identify strengths and weakness, problem solving. Dion says, every experience is useful. Walang tapon. There's no waste. There's no waste. People see things differently. Your perceptual lens is always the best to connect you to you. Perfectly said. Thank you, Dion. So, to the runners that are listening now to the replay and on Spotify, I want to tell you thank you for running away with me on a Friday night on the very first post huddle, quote unquote, for the 7 dimensions of wellness. This is why we did this. This is why we did this. Post huddle natin to before we actually start talking about the 7 dimensions of wellness. So what you're about to hear for the next coming weeks might hit you hard in the heart, might make you think and reevaluate your habits right now. It might even make you question who you really are. But I'm going to tell you that everything is going to be okay. I know and I believe that you will do the work as you just really want to be the best version of yourself. So let's reassess, progress, because this is the 7 dimensions of wellness. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Runaway Podcast on a Friday night. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Coach Gab, for dropping by. Always love your presence. Thank you, Tita Jen, for the stars. And thank you, Michael. Thank you, Cedric. Thank you, Janice, for dropping by too. Thank you, guys. I really do. I really do appreciate it. It's like nakita niyo yung kamay ko. Oh my god. For the live. Oh my god, dude. It's so funny. Ah. Live ngayon. Para akong like my half of my body. Kita yung katawan ko. Yay. Yeah. Look at that. Anyway. So thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the podcast. Share the podcast. Run away with Runaway Podcast. We'll see you next week for the 7 dimensions of wellness. Good night. And that's it for this episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Runaway Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, Run Away with Runaway Podcast.